So today I'm doing another movie review, and this review is about Joker. So basically, what happens in this movie? It's about how a normal man who suffers through a lot, it becomes the famous Batman villain, the Joker, and that's it. I'm kidding. So the movie starts out in the famous Batman city, Gotham City, in 1981, and a man named Arthur Fleck, he is seeing a therapist because he has a condition that he laughs uncontrollably, just at random times, and he's seen his therapist, and you can see he really is a broken guy. And this man, Arthur Fleck, he works as a clown, a literal clown. He does advertising, just goes to kids, tries to make people laugh and just happy. But that's not very easy because one day he is jumped by a gang of kids that beat him up and steal his money and destroy his sign that he's using to advertise. So one day his friend goes that works with him, named Roland. He gives Arthur a gun just in case something like that was to happen again. And Arthur, who also besides working as a clown and advertising, Arthur is striving to become a comedian. And so far it just has not worked out. He lives with his mother. They are very poor. He's very skinny. And you can tell, like, he really is just praying and hoping that being a comedian can be his way out. And he's just hoping that one day he can be big. He can make something great out of himself, like his idol, like his idol Murray Franklin. So Arthur one day, Arthur, he goes to a child's birthday, or not a child's birthday, he goes to a hospital, and as he's performing, just dancing, being funny to the kids, he drops the gun. The gun falls out of his pocket, and he is fired from his job because having a gun, a clown having a gun, that's not exactly a good message to kids. So he's fired from his job, and what's worse is that his friend that gave him the gun just completely does not defend him whatsoever. He just completely sells him out. Also, Arthur, he begins to make friends. He gets a crush on a girl that lives in the adjacent apartment. Her name's Sophia. She's a single mother. Both are similar because they're both poor. So anyway, after Arthur gets fired, he goes, he's still dressed as a clown, and he's riding the subway home when there's a group of 3 guys that work for one of the most rich men in the city, Thomas Wayne, who is Bruce Wayne's father, aka Batman's father. So there's 3 guys that are making fun of a disabled woman. She's what I can assume either blind or deaf, and just as they're about to really hurt her, these 3 men are drunk or high or something like that. Arthur, he starts laughing, not actually laughing at them, but he starts to laugh. So then the woman leaves, and the men they just start to beat up Arthur, and just as they're about to keep hitting him, he shoots them. He shoots 2 of them in self-defense, and he executes the 3rd one just because he's pissed off. So he then runs and flees, and then he does something weird, and then he just goes home to hide in his apartment, and you can tell he's very he's in a way happy that he finally was able to for once in his life stand up for himself and actually do something, but he's very, at the same time, he's like, oh my god, I just killed 3 people, he's scared. So he goes back to his apartment to hide, and and then the news begins to call him the killer clown because he was dressed as a clown and he killed these three. And Thomas Wayne actually speaks out in about this, and he said, because he's running for mayor, and he says that everyone, the poor, the reason why this happened is because the majority of Gotham City is actually very poor, and he says that the poor, that the poor are jealous of the rich, and that the poor are all just clowns, and that's why this person killed these people, because they're jealous and envious. When in reality, that's not how it happened. The rich people here are awful to the poor people. They treat them terribly, and this actually starts a movement of other people that dress as clowns, trying and change things in Gotham City. Meanwhile, Arthur, he goes to see his therapist again, and she says that they can't see each other anymore because the city cut funding for their program to help people like Arthur just because of what happened. And he goes over and he's not able to get his medication anymore. So that also really hurts him. And so then Arthur, he just goes back home, and then his mother, Penny Fleck, tells Arthur that his father, who's not there, is actually Thomas Wayne, which Arthur is just in disbelief, and he's mad. So he goes over to the Wayne mansion, and he just goes over and he actually sees Bruce and the butler, and he tells Bruce to just smile. Always remember to smile. And it's really a cute scene until the butler goes in and threatens Arthur until he leaves. So then, as Arthur is making his way back, and the butler also says that Arthur, that Arthur's mom is lying, that it really didn't happen, that Thomas Wayne and Penny did not have an affair. So Arthur goes back, but he finds out that his mother's being taken to the hospital because she had a stroke, because she's found out that he got fired, and she's in bad shape. So she gets taken to the hospital, and Sophie, the girl that Arthur likes, goes with him to the hospital and just comforts him. And as he's making his way over to the hospital, he gets interviewed by two detectives that believe Arthur is the killer clown, but he ends up leaving. So then Arthur, after his mother's just stabilized, Arthur goes to the comedy club and just tells some jokes, but because of how he is, he's unable to even tell a single joke because he keeps laughing. He barely gets a joke out before his time's up. And then when Arthur goes back to the hospital, he watches a segment of the Murray Franklin show, and Murray Franklin basically makes fun of him. He shows a clip of Arthur's act, and he makes fun of him on live television, and that truly just breaks Arthur. It really just breaks him. So now Arthur, feeling just completely broken, he goes to the state hospital. He goes to get some of his mother's records because he really wants to know who his father is. Because he actually does believe that Thomas Wayne is actually his father. So he goes to confront Thomas Wayne, and he sneaks into a theater where Thomas Wayne is. He goes right to the bathroom with him, and he just confronts him, and Thomas Wayne just says, "No, man, you're not my son. Your mom's lying. She lives in her fantasy world. She's just a liar." And honestly, I was kind of feeling like Thomas Wayne was actually lying. I would have thought it was cool that if the Joker and Batman were actually half brothers, but we don't really know at that point. So not believing and not knowing what to believe, Arthur, he goes to retrieve some of his mother's records from the state hospital that his mother used to go to. So the guy behind the counter, he just goes over to he gets his mom's records, and sadly Arthur legally can't have them unless his mother signs them. And then right in the middle, Arthur, as he's handing him, as the man's like telling him about the papers, Arthur kind of like lets it slip. He's like, I did something bad, and I really should feel bad about it, but I don't. And you can really see in that scene where he's like, how Arthur, he still feels how he's like slowly but surely losing who he used to be and becoming the villain, since he really is not feeling bad anymore for what he did to those three people. So Arthur steals the records from the man, and he goes and he reads them, and he finds out that Thomas Wayne was right, that Arthur is not that he is not his son, that although his mom did work for Thomas Wayne, that she actually did adopt, that after she left Thomas Wayne, after she got fired from working for Thomas Wayne, she adopted Arthur, and she just let him get abused by her boyfriend. And just so much how he just feels so broken, feeling that his mother lied to him, that his life was so terrible, when he really finds out that he was abused, he was just hurt and lied to. And after this, he goes to his mom's room, and he kills her. Just in total anger, he kills her, he strangles her, or he goes to strangle Penny. And then he goes back to his apartment, and he accidentally goes into Sophie's apartment, and she's confused and scared when she sees him, because turns out that whole thing about them dating and just starting a relationship, it never happened. It was all just Arthur was just delusional, and he was imagining it because he's going insane. So yeah, he basically that whole thing is just a lie. And Arthur then and after just everything that has happened between losing his job, being humiliated publicly on TV, and just being lied to, having learned that his whole life was a lie, Arthur, that is like pretty much the last straw, and Arthur just begins to just descend into madness. He takes all of his pills, he just goes crazy in his apartment, and he actually gets a call from the Murray Franklin show, since everyone loved what Murray Franklin said about him on his show, and they actually want to call him in to have Murray Franklin interview him. So he's getting ready for the event. He's actually painting his face white like Joker, like a clown. So then, just as he's about to get ready to leave, his two friends, or two people that he used to work with, one of which was Roland, the guy that gave him the gun at the very beginning, and comes over, and another man who just was there. They come over to comfort Arthur about losing his mother, and Arthur he kills Roland. He just kills him because because he's crazy and out of just complete anger. But he lets the other guy go just because the other guy never really did anything to him, so he lets him go. And then he just dresses up as the Joker. So, and on the way, and thus the transformation to the Joker has just been complete. He's now the Joker, and on his way over to the show, he runs into the two detectives again, and he runs from them. And they start to question him, and yeah, and he loses them on the subway when one of the detectives actually shoots another man that's disguised as a clown, and a riot breaks loose, and the two officers are beaten, and Arthur just makes his way over to the show, and just as Arthur's getting ready, he asks Murray Franklin, just like in the trailer, when he introduces Arthur, he wants to be called Joker. So he goes in there, and it seems normal, like it's just like a normal guy. He's dressed as Joker, like a normal show. He's just dressed as Joker, and like slowly and just as Arthur tells a joke, it's when Murray Franklin asks Joker to tell a joke, Joker tells a very inappropriate joke, and it just leads to Joker or Arthur just saying the city is corrupt. It's just how it's, and he actually leads Arthur to admitting that he killed the three people, and him just going crazy on stage, just saying to Murray that people like him, that people like Arthur, they are practically worthless to the rich, to everyone, and it also leads him to killing Murray. He shoots him dead live on TV, and as he's being pulled away in a police car, a ambulance rams into the police car, and the two people that were driving the ambulance were other like worshippers of the Joker. They free him, and they free Joker, and while this is all going on, the Wayne family, they're coming out of a movie, and they're being pursued by a Joker impersonator. And this is the famous scene from Batman, how he became Batman, when both Bruce's parents are killed. And yeah, that was like a good scene. So then, just as Arthur wakes up, he's just surrounded by other people, and he just starts to dance and laugh on stage. Or not on stage, but on top of a car, in front of all these people that are worshiping as they're just tearing apart the city. And then Arthur, he's put into a mental hospital, and at the very end, he starts to laugh, thinking about Bruce, since he knows the Waynes are dead, and he's like, and the lady that's interviewing him is just like, "What's so funny?" He's like, "Nothing. I'm just thinking of a joke." And just as and then it cuts, and then he just runs around the mental hospital, and it cuts there. So yeah, that's basically Joker, the plot of Joker. Honestly, I feel this movie is really good. It is so good. It is really just a great way to know how the Joker became Joker. And Joaquin Phoenix, as people have said, does amazing at portraying it. There are times when you can truly feel the pain, the despair, the sadness, and just the anger that Arthur's feeling in his mind. You can feel his emotion at times, and you really do feel bad for him at sometimes too. And it really, I feel as though this movie, it's just, I don't know, I can't explain it. The movie before the movie came out, like a week before, this movie started like a lot of controversy, at least here in the U.S. I don't know about other places, but I saw a news report about people like saying that this movie is going to cause more violence, that it's going to cause more violence, because just lately, you know, the U.S., we've had a lot of shootings lately, and so many people feel that way. Like a few people like feel that way just because it's just showing how a normal man just goes through some rough times and just descends into badness and becomes a mass maniac that kills people. And in a way, I mean, I can kind of agree with them just based on what has happened in the past few months, but I disagree with them just because, like, one, like, you're still debating about it, or this debate is still going on, that video games and movies and just other media, that's the reason why these violent things are happening. And I agree that, I do partially agree that in rare cases, and for like few people, for like that set few of people that if they see something, they definitely could become bad, but for the most part, that really is not the case. And also another thing, it's Joker. It's the Joker. Like, this guy, this Joker. The Joker's been out for, I don't know how long he's been out, like decades. Like, we all know how he is. Like, I'm not even a Batman fan. I've never watched anything Batman or had anything to do with him, but I already know. Joker's a maniac. He goes around killing people. And it was literally how Joker became Joker. Like, what were people expecting? Like, you know? So, I really just feel as well that this movie, it got so much more controversy that I feel it didn't deserve. Like it really just, I don't know. And it also can just be, in a way, a positive way, a positive example to show to people that we all should, and this is just not regarding the US, this is the world, we should all just treat each other better, like, because the way Arthur was treated, the way all those people in Gotham City, the poor people were treated, none of this would have ever happened if Arthur was treated better by everyone. If everyone just started to be nice to each other, then none of that would have happened. And I truly feel like that should be everywhere. We should all just treat each other no matter what. We should all just treat each other better. We shouldn't just be mean to each other, but it is what it is. And in a way, I can kind of personally connect, because there are times where I felt somewhat similar to Arthur, where it's like I've had that feeling where I'm alone, like there's no one I can talk to or depend on. Just people have left me and abandoned me, and I felt that way. Like I could personally connect to him in a way and and I can understand where he was coming from. Then again, like I would never go to the point where he went, becoming a supervillain and being a maniac. But like, do you get what I'm saying? Like I can understand where he's coming from, and I can understand why people hated this movie, why they have such a controversy against this movie. Anyway, enough of my rambling. The grade I would give this movie, solid work, solid actors, just solid everything. I give this movie a solid A. So that's really my review of Joker. Really good movie, and I'm also really excited for the next movie. This movie, it was one of the movies that I was looking forward to the most. Like, this movie, I'll give you some hints about what the next movie I'm going to be reviewing is. It's not going to be for a little while, though, because it's not out yet. It's about a cybernetic organism played by Arnold Schwarzenegger and a woman named Sarah Connor, and a whole lot of machines and guns and bad stuff. Yes. Do you not understand what it is? Well, check out the trailer. Check out this clip.
When this is all over, I am going to kill you.
I understand.
I'll be back.
Yes, the next movie I am watching is going to be Terminator Dark Fate. I am super excited to see what this movie is going to be about. The trailer looks really good. And I'm really just optimistic, because even though Terminator Genesis was not really that good whatsoever, I am just looking forward to see what is going to happen, because James Cameron is back, Arnold Schwarzenegger is back, even Linda Hamilton is back. Like, I'm just super excited to see what the three of them can once again do. And yeah, so guys, if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Give this a like, consider subscribing if you have not, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, and also share this video. Goodbye.
It's over.